I was uploading a video about the police and law enforcement, which is what they are supposed to do, and the people upon whom the law is enforced, or forced, as the case may be. And I had to come up with a name for the video, so I was thinking about law enforcement and the so-called police force, and I decided to call the video The Force. And immediately when I saw this, I was reminded of the movie Star Wars, which is very, very hot right now. A new episode has just been released. It's called The Force Awakens. And it's doing a huge business at the box office, what Variety would call boffo. The sale of all things Star Wars, the paraphernalia, is also through the roof. I was not that big a fan of the movies, saw the first few, missed the next releases, and I do not intend to see the new one, but I do know a little something about the story. It's set in the distant past, out in the universe among the stars, and there's a war going on, all contained in the first movie's title, Star Wars. There's an empire which wants, as empires so often do, to rule everything, and they are therefore the bad guys. Opposing them are some few scattered stalwart knights, the Jedi warriors, and a true warrior is in touch with a mysterious power known as the Force. May the Force be with you is the fundamental blessing and the touchstone phrase of the entire franchise, the equivalent of billions and billions served, or I'm loving it. And you would certainly want to have something that's called the Force on your side. The Empire has lots of soldiers and tons of firepower, but they do not have the Force. In that battle, I'm putting my money on the Force, no matter what the odds. I've been reading a lot about Nazi Germany recently, and Hitler knew all about the Force. He made sure from the very beginning that the Force was with him. He would make fiery speeches at first before small groups, not everyone there in agreement with him. Hitler had some tough guys, essentially bouncers, ready to take care of anyone who disagreed with him, and when the crowds got bigger, he expanded his force, put them in brown uniforms, and began calling them stormtroopers. People soon learned that you didn't mess with the stormtroopers. Later, he refined this use of force into a special unit called the SS, dressed in black, and they became known as the Gestapo. No one, for any reason, wanted anything to do with the Gestapo. The mere thought of this force did a fine job in controlling the population. You definitely want to feel that you have the Force on your side. If the Force is coming after you, then you have a problem. In present-day America, some people feel that the authorized group in charge of law enforcement is out to get them, pulling them over for driving while black, screwing with them because they can. And they get fed up with this, and then real trouble ensues. When a cop kills someone, it is called the use of deadly force, and he or she is put on leave and they hold a hearing to determine if the use of deadly force was justified. In Nazi Germany, the force was so well organized and well armed and notoriously short-tempered that no one dared oppose them. It simply wasn't worth it. Say you made a point of questioning some policy, of doubting the authority, and instead of instigating a debate, the force cracked your head or dragged you away to jail, or worse, some detention camp, where you were treated with a pitiless disregard. Out there in the universe, there's a price to be paid for opposing the Empire, but the key to it all is that the Empire doesn't have the Force. That belongs to the heroes who oppose the Empire, and, having the Force, ultimately there's no way they can lose. They're like the archers in the Hunger Games, another movie franchise I did not see. That deck is stacked. It's hogwash, of course. In the real world, or what we call the real world, the Empire would be the Force, would employ it cruelly if opposed, and God help you if you have a quarrel with the Empire, because no one else will. The force of authority has a way of isolating its opponents. Divide and conquer, they say. And who is going to stand up to the Force all alone, backed by no one, not even a rousing chorus of inspiring music?